Welcome to Relax and Chat, episode 34. Today we have a very special guest, Janelle Schiecke. I'm sure you already know the name, but I'll mention her books anyway. She wrote Ghost Room, Death Cult, and most recently, the incredible book, The Clatter Man. Oh yeah, rockin'. Ladies and gentlemen, Janelle Schiecke. How you doing, Janelle?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Absolutely. I did a little bit of research,
Oh,
just a little, and I found something interesting that among Amazon indie authors, that it is pretty unusual for an author to have really great success with their first three stories published. And according to the research, less than 1% pull that off. Three
oh,
hits in a row right out of the gate is extremely rare. So I have to ask you, not counting magic, which I'm sure is magic, but not counting that, what do you think creates this phenomenon of three books in a row that have seen great reviews, great popularity, and I assume great success?
gosh, it's a really good question, by the way. um, I don't know. I feel like well, for me, I don't look at the trends. I just write what I love, and I feel that when you write what you love, it really comes through on the page, and people can kind of sense your enthusiasm and your love for the genre. And I see you're nodding. I know you agree. And I feel that's a big part of it. I think I don't know. I mean, I think that some people do maybe chase trends and to each their own, but and that's fine, but if the trend's not really wheelhouse per se, then you might be writing something that might not, I don't know, might not catch because your love for the genre and your love for the stories isn't there. And I think that's another thing. The stories I write stories that really capture my attention. I have so many stories in progress right now that I'm just like, they're okay. I'm just gonna set them down. I have at least like 5 stories that they're okay, but I don't know where they're gonna go. But Ghost Room, Death Cult, and Cloud Remember, all stories that I was really passionate about. And when you kind of get that inspiration and you have something, you follow it. And when you don't, I feel like when you don't get bored or burned out in at least the first few chapters, then you have something.
Yeah, I think
So yeah.
one thing you said that I think is very important for the audience. If you sit down to write a story, a novella, or a novel, and sometimes even a short story, if you sit down to write it and you are looking at this big trend that's going on in social media, woohoo, trend, I'm going to jump on it. By the time you write your story, get it all just right, beta readers, editing, and your story's ready to publish, that trend is long gone. Yeah, you got to wait for it to come
You're so right.
up.
You're absolutely right, and that's one thing that I didn't know, and you're so right about that because trends do just like fashion trends, they just come and go.
Yeah.
And if you can hit it when it's hot, good for you, and that's amazing. But like you said, it takes a lot of time to write a book, And the funny thing is that writing the book is only maybe 5 to 10% of it all. Then you have to market it, and that's where it really starts,
Oh, yeah.
which is crazy when you think about it. Because that's the other thing, you kind of have to build, as an indie author, you don't have a publisher helping you out. So you kind of have to build your fan base by yourself, which
Oh,
it's
yeah.
taken me almost 3 years, to do that. So that takes time. And when you have your fan base, things will start rowing. But when no one knows about you could have the best book in the world, but no one's going to know about it,
Oh, yeah.
So you really have to get your, yeah, build your audience, which takes time. You have to do it. I mean, I like to do it organically. I don't know. That's the only way I know how to do it. But you know, it's a slow build. But when you get readers that really connect with you and your stories, then they're there to stay, and so it's a really cool relationship.
Well, I'll tell you, especially new writers, And it's very exciting and very fun to say, I'm going to be an indie writer. And, you know, the indie writing world is,
Yeah.
then there's a great lot of great stories coming out. And
Hmm.
I've had several guests on the show that have very successful stories, indie writers. But what they don't realize is, you know, RDG Books Press is a full publishing house.
Hmm.
Janelle Schiecke is an indie writer. And you have to do absolutely every task that I have to do. You got to do them all if you're going to do it right. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, a lot of people don't realize indie writers do a boatload of work. there's,
Oh my God. It
there's
is
a lot.
so much work. I mean,
Oh,
it is just, and I didn't know that. I had no idea. I mean, maybe people that go into it, have that idea, but I went into it thinking, okay, I have this book. This is great. I'm going to put it on Amazon. And, and Ghoststream did pretty well for my first book, but it's, I mean, it's just, it's work. But when it's funny because, I'm a big horror fan. That's kind of, that's just me. I mean, that's part of me. So I have fun. I don't even want to call it marketing. I just like engaging with people and finding similar interests and talking about, I don't know, their pets or, what's their favorite horror movie or stuff like that. What's your favorite book? And I think those build the relationships, and it takes time, but it's really about engagement
yeah.
at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, your Twitter channel, for example, on Twitter continuously is growing, you know. So what you're doing right. It's rocking, you know. Well, I think the audience would be mad at me if I didn't ask you. The Clatter Man. Let's be honest, that's been a very popular story. It rocks. And I understand you're writing a sequel.
Thank you.
And I have got
I
to ask
am.
you if you could share some little teasers about the sequel.
Wow, it's funny. After I wrote the first one, I love creative deaths. I just watched Final Destination Bloodlines, and the deaths were so creative. I love a creative death. It feels horrible, but us horror fans, that's what we do. um, and after I wrote the first one, a lot of my readers were like, "Oh, we want more deaths. We want more creative deaths." So there will be a lot more creative deaths in this one. You're going to learn a little bit more about the Clatterman. He's going to have a larger playing field. I'll just put it that way. I don't want to give too much more away, but it's yeah, it's gonna be very different than the first one.
Oh,
So we have that.
oh, that sounds great.
But yeah, it's yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. The funny thing is that it's kind of just writing itself. You know how when you sit down and you open up your Google Docs, Microsoft Word, whatever, and the story just comes to me. The characters tell me like what's going to happen. I just follow their lead. So I'm already on chapter 10. And I think this one's definitely going to be longer than the first one too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I think
that's
one of
great.
the best things about the Clatterman, there's many things I could name, but I think one of the best is that there's a lot of good, solid horror writers who could write a scary character like the Clatterman. And
Hmm.
you did a fine job writing him. But what you did that was, in my opinion, a step beyond is you not only wrote the character, but you wrote the lore, the history, the magic that makes him who he is. And
Hmm.
that's something a lot of writers wouldn't think of. And because you know what's the right word? The myth, the lore, the history
Hmm.
of that character, it enriches that character and makes him even more powerful in the real time story. I salute you. Well done. Because
Hmm.
I've referred to you as a master in the making. Because I honestly believe,
Oh, thank
I've read all three of your books, and I honestly believe that you have what it takes, that in a number of years, people will start referring to you the way they refer to today's current masters of writing. You know, if you stick with it and keep doing what you're doing, You keep building your craft, taking the right steps.
Mm.
There's no doubt that you can be up there with the biggest names in writing, and take your pick. Any one of those three books could be made into a movie. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've had so many I've had so many readers ask me, is this going to be into a movie? I mean, that would be great, but it's funny because, I love horror movies so much. I subscribe to Shudder. I watch at least 2 horror movies a week. And the stories I write, I kind of, I like to write stories that read like a movie. Because I really love, visually, like, I don't know, to visualize everything and to really, make you feel like you're there. So I guess the benefit is that it could be easily transitioned into a screenplay very easily, for a movie. So, which is cool.
I hear you're working on some short stories, perhaps even a short story collection. We want to
I
hear.
am. So, it's funny. So I think you probably saw on Twitter, I talked about the spider story I'm writing.
Uh-huh.
That was supposed to be in the collection, but it actually turned into a novella or a novelette. We'll see. So that's the funny thing. It has legs, that one. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be more than a short story. So that one I hope to release next year. And I do have a few short stories. I'm still working on getting them whittled out, but I have the basic ideas down. You know how it is, like, once, like, I wrote the spider and I just kind of wrote a few things. I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. And I'm really going to make it really gross. So what I like is the Clatterman's really fun, right? The Clatterman's so fun. It's got crazy deaths. It's got some humor. Spider story is going to be different. So I like to kind of, just kind of like experiment with different, I don't know, different kinds of genres, I guess you could say, in horror. So this one would be very different, but yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, the short stories, I have about like 3 or 4, but I still have to work them out. But I'm very excited about that. Um, you write amazing short stories. You really do. I love your short stories. And I'm no, they're really well done, and I'm realizing how it's hard to write a short story. A novella is, but you have to really trim it down.
Yeah, I think it would be hard to write a novella and trim it down. For me personally, because I'm a 100% pantser. I'm typing a paragraph. I have no idea what's in the next paragraph. I don't know. I follow my characters at my best.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I type 40 words a minute. I do all I can just to keep up with my characters. So my stories develop without me. I just type. But I find it easier with short stories to start out with the mindset that, this is a short story. I got to get to it. I got to be a little careful about over describing, and I got to wrap it up in X number of words. You got to be aware of that before you start, because especially in your case, 3 longer version stories published, you're used to having those pages, the word count, to create the beautiful worlds and the characters. All of a sudden, you're confined to 5,000 words. That's a big difference,
It's funny you say that, because the spider stories it's at 5,000 words right now, and I have so many more to go. So I'm like, oh wow, yes. So it's a fun challenge, though. Yeah, it's interesting.
That's a thing that I've heard you say often, and I completely agree with you. You say the word fun when you're referencing.
Yeah.
And I believe it 100%. To be a writer is an awful lot of hard work, but the key, in my opinion, one of the main keys is to have fun. Enjoy what you're doing. Don't overthink it.
Yes.
Don't try to edit it as you go. Let the story flow and have fun. It's got to be fun.
That's how I feel, because as you said, you got the second, third, fourth, however many passes after the first, first draft. So it's like, just have fun, and you can cut out what you don't like and add to what a lot of times when I'm writing the first draft, I'm sure you do this as well. You just, I write the main key points, and sometimes I'll kind of elaborate on the scene, but I'll usually just put a few footnotes, like add this in or add that in, and then when I go through the second pass, I'll kind of like, just add those things in.
Oh,
I just write, you know, I don't use any software. Of course, I don't use any AI. You know, I don't even use, you know, I don't use ChatGPT for any ideas. I want them to all be my own ideas.
absolutely.
You know, I know somebody's doing and teach their own, you know, but I don't know. I just like it to come from my own brain, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, it's very, I mean, it's very, I just use Microsoft Word to catch misspellings. And even when I do, it doesn't catch all the misspellings, but then you have the beta readers, the ARC readers, the editor.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Yeah, you go through it, and I've even published books, you know, put them up on Amazon. And before the release date, one relatively recent one, in 200 pages,
Mm-hmm.
there was one letter missing.
Mm.
I took it down and fixed that letter and resubmitted it.
I don't blame you.
I'm a nitpicker for trying to do things right. And if you know me at all, I don't believe AI works in the creative arts at all. I don't have anything to do with AI. I won't publish it. I won't use it. You know, it may have great uses in other fields, although it terrifies me that it will probably will control all the militaries. Skynet.
Yeah.
But it certainly doesn't have a place in the creative arts. You know, a story or
Yeah.
music or a picture comes from the heart and soul of a human being. And I love hearing
Mm-hmm.
that you don't fool with the Tin Man. You do your thing. And I love hearing that, you know.
I do my thing. Yeah, I want it to be, you know, yeah, no, and I want it to be, you know, true to my, you know, like a spider story is, it's a very Janelle kind of story, and I just want to, yeah, I want it to be true to my, you know, my voice, I guess you could say. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
your voice, your style, who you are, your heart.
Hmm.
You know, you want to be true to that, or you're not really a writer if you just, you know, plug it in a program and letting the algorithm run. That's not a writer, you know. So, you
Yeah,
know, what you're
it's
doing, that's really writing. That's great, you know.
yeah, no, I love it. I'm very old school. I'm gonna stay old school.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's what old school, but you know, I just feel it's more fun that way to me because
yeah.
it's really you know.
Well, I want to make sure
Yeah.
I put this part of the segment in because, you know, I sort of guide the show with a few questions that I have, but I also like to give the author an
Mhm.
opportunity to share with the audience any thoughts you may have. I don't censor. You can share anything you want to say to the audience. So the
Mhm.
stage is yours.
Oh man. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess you know, first and foremost, I'm obviously a big horror fan, and I'm, you know, I'm really enjoying this journey as an author, and I'm having so much fun, and I've connected with so many incredible readers, and I love talking to them and engaging with them every day, and it's just really been an amazing journey, and yeah, I mean, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm enjoying it, so that's the best part, right?
Yeah, I see
So.
your writer journey. Let's say in all, it's 1,000 miles.
Mhm.
So far, you've taken 10 steps. I can't wait to see what you do in all those miles. It's going to be
Thank you.
it's going to be
And the
a,
best part is yeah, I have no idea what it's gonna be. That's the best part about it. It's all unknown, you know?
yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's
Mhm.
fun. It's really fun.
Oh yeah. Well, I want to make sure I give this opportunity that you know this will be on YouTube, and of course the viewer can see the description.
Mhm,
I'll have all relevant links down in the description. Of course, I'll have links to your books, and and to your social
mhm,
and such. But for the sake of those who are on other platforms that can't see the description, if you
mhm.
would please share like your website, some of your social media, where someone can pop on and say, "Hi, Janelle, what's up? How you doing?" So if you don't mind, maybe share some of that kind of stuff.
Sure. So my website is just janelleschiecke.com. I'm also on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, and I'm on Threads. And I'm also part of the Dark Veil Society, which is a group of, you know, indie horror writers. So you can find even more horror stories in the Dark Veil Society. And you can find them on Twitter as well. And Yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously I'm on Goodreads too,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, I'm on all those platforms. That just where you can find me.
Awesome. You hear that, audience? You can find her in all those places. So be sure to pop in somewhere and say hi to Janelle. And I will guarantee you'll enjoy chatting with her. She's very brilliant, very creative, very charming. And it is a joy, Janelle, to speak with you anytime. It's always a lot of fun. And
You too.
I follow you like crazy on Twitter. You're always up to something, and I love it. Janelle, I am so thankful that in your incredibly busy schedule, you were able to make a little time to come on the show. I'm so thankful that you've done that. I love that you're working on the sequel to The Clatterman. I can't wait to see it. And yeah, you might find it a little bit challenging to work on those short stories at first because you're used to the
Yeah.
long format. By the time you get to short story 7, you'll be like, these are fun. You know? Is that your plan, to make a collection of short stories in one book?
It is. I would like to. Yeah, I don't. It's not going to be, probably not next year, but the Spider will definitely be next year. But I'm going to work on them and the Clatterman sequel in the background, and hope to release a few. Yeah,
Oh,
as a collection. I always kind of wanted to do that, so that's my goal.
yeah, I've written 2 collections myself, and I recently published an anthology by some fantastic writers. It's Dark in Their Minds. I don't know if you've
Mm.
had a chance to read it, but boy, it's great. So if you get a chance to read that, you'll love it.
Oh,
It's really good. Again, here I am
I
chattering
can't wait.
on. The clock's going to run out and Zoom's going to shut me down. Chatter, 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 chatter. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience with my foolishness. Thank you for getting to know Janelle. I'm sure you enjoyed that because she's so charming. Janelle, so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing the show. And
Thank you
ladies
so
and
much for having
gentlemen,
me.
my pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid we're at the end of Relax and Chat episode 34. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye, everybody.